Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Phoenix Pals Podcast, aka P3, episode 12. In this episode, we're going to be giving my personal review of Madden NFL 17 initial launch review, pre-patch and post-patch. Going to be talking about a couple of things here. Mainly, this episode going to be talking about the gameplay and how I feel about the gameplay so far this year in Madden. The next episode will be covering the modes this year, how I feel about the modes so far, and what can be done to improve the modes as the year progresses. Now, I got a couple of announcements before I begin. First things first, as always, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more Phoenix Pals podcast. I've apologized for taking a long time off. I took a week off of leave after I had got my certification from work in order to play a full week's worth of Madden 17 to kind of get a real feel of how Madden 17 plays this year compared to Madden 16 and previous versions of Madden. And I'll be talking about the good, the bad, and some of the iffy things that I may or may not like about the Madden game this year. But the things that I want to highlight and say is that those negative things that I call out, those I believe are fixable, patchable, tunable, whatever you want to use for the word fixed, or should be looked at heavily. So these are things to me that stick out, and maybe it's mostly small things that stick out to me that kind of impact the game in a huge way that probably either goes unnoticed or doesn't get talked about very much. I also wanted to say that if it hasn't been already sent, it will be sent to the development team at EA. So I'll be sending it to Rex, to Clint, to Anthony White, to RG, all those guys that work on the gameplay exclusively. And talk about, and hopefully with the developers, if you're listening to this one, I would strongly encourage and welcome feedback that you have from me. So, for instance, a lot of things you won't be able to see a video on in this particular podcast because I just don't do videos when it comes to my podcast and stuff like that. However, what I can do is, since I play a lot of Madden on stream on Twitch and have things recorded on Twitch, I can actually dig up archives and I can dig up videos like I've been doing these past couple of weeks with sending videos to Rex and Clint, kind of highlighting issues that should be looked at. So if there's something that comes across or that you guys hear and you're just kind of like, oh, that doesn't make sense, can you explain more? Just ask. And the more open you guys are with me, and you guys have been doing a great job responding. And like I said, the more back and forth you give me, the easier it is for me to find out the videos and stuff like that, or find an example of that going on. So I encourage you, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/dblackphoenix, twitch.tv/blackphoenix. And if you need my personal contacts, such as email, please let me know on Twitter or Twitch, and I can get that to you. Or if you're happen to be on YouTube, please leave a comment in the comment below and let me know about that. Now, a couple of more announcements before I begin as well. That if you haven't paid attention so far, I have got a new logo. That's right, I have a brand new logo on Twitter, Twitch, and on the YouTube channel. Not for this particular podcast yet. I'm going to get them made very soon and very shortly. But on the YouTube channel, you can check out the new banner, and you can check out my new banner and logos on Twitter and on Twitch as well. I want to give a shout out to Fred Guerrero from WebEx for hooking me up with the new logo. And I also want to give a quick shout out to all the people that have recommended that guy, and he's done a fantastic job. He's a very, very talented artist, and so shout outs to him. And like I said, the Phoenix Palace podcast will be getting a logo from him in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. Another announcement that I want to make is that we are actually officially partnered here at the Phoenix Palace podcast, and that is by GamerGM.com. That's going to be your number one source for sports news, gameplay, reviews, and more here shortly. It's an up and coming site, and they have asked me to be a partner for them and a streamer for them, so I'm proud to announce my partnership with them. Shout outs to those boys over there. Thank you for the opportunity. Without further ado, let's get into Madden 17's review. Again, as I much mentioned, this is basically constructive criticism, the way I do my videos, especially wishlist videos, brutal honesty videos in the past with Madden 16. This year is no different. Now, a lot of people will say, like, aren't you a game changer? No, I am not. If that opportunity arises in the future, I will welcome it. I would love to become one. But for now, I can do my part in the community by highlighting issues and giving constructive, actionable feedback. And that's what the developers want. And, hey, if it helps make the game better, I'm all for it. And a lot of you have come to me and say, hey, you've been doing a fantastic job. Or you guys have been appreciating my support, my voice in the community. So I definitely appreciate you guys and just ask for your continued support as the year goes on in Madden NFL 17. Let's start off with the gameplay. Overall, let's start off with overall, and then we're going to get into positive, negatives, and stuff like that. Overall, I think this game is a lot better. Way better than 16. Like, miles better than 16. Now, is it perfect? No. There are a lot of issues still to this day, especially with a couple lingering issues that are kind of now going to be borderline legacy issues. But, again, I'll highlight those in a second here. But overall, the gameplay definitely feels a lot smoother. It feels a lot better. It moves a lot better. There's a lot of low scoring. I haven't seen, like, too many games that I've been, like, complete, like shootouts. I've been noticing a lot of, like, 21s, 14-7s, 21-14s, 21-10s, that type of thing. So it's kind of low scoring to where it's kind of weird now. It's a good thing, but it's kind of weird. It's like, I'm used to dropping like 35, 40 points a game, and now I'm only dropping 14, if I get lucky a game, or my offense actually clicks up that game. One thing I will say that's very noticeable are a couple of things here. The run fits are definitely noticeable, as well as the gap assignments. This is a personal thing for me because I'm so used to playing the old Madden where you just put a guy in a spot and he just automatically runs to like the offensive line or the ball carrier. This year you can't really do that, and this year I actually learned how to actually check the run fits before every single play, so that way I know as a defender where I'm supposed to be. Because a lot of times, especially in the beginning of the year, I just kind of play the old style of Madden and just put the guys there, and was always wondering, why am I always giving up the big runs? Why am I always giving up the touchdowns, the long plays, like the 30-plus yard runs consistently? And it was until somebody in the stream was like, hey, are you checking your run fits? I'm like, I think I am. This is where I'm supposed to be, right? He was like, no, use the right stick to, tell you, or it should show you where you're supposed to be at. And I'm like, oh, okay. And once I figured that out, then I was able to stop the run a lot more effectively this year. And then, I still give up the occasional big run for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because, stretch plays are a little bit OP or whatever the case may be, or just I lose a lot of tackle battles or whatever the case may be. But I still give up the big run occasionally, but it's a lot less frequent than in the past. Another thing that I noticed that is a good thing is zones. Zones are very good this year, even though some of them are still kind of questionable about what they do and like how they cover and stuff like that. Because some it's a little bit inconsistent, and I'm not sure if it's because of play rec ratings and zone ratings, or just because of the zone itself. But more experimentation with that coming in the future until I can actually get way more comfortable with the zones and play calling and stuff like that on defense. Swamp mechanic. Swamp mechanic definitely works this year. I say it works about like 85 to 90% of the time. You still give up those aggressive catches to, like, especially guys that should have no business having that aggressive catch or spectacular catch animation, which, at this point in time I kind of accept it now. A lot of people saying that ever since the past draft they've been noticing an uptick in aggressive catches. I personally haven't seen it yet, or I haven't come across it yet. But I guess that's something to look into, more games and stuff like that. But that's definitely interesting that I hope doesn't come back as aggressive catches because of patches and tuning and stuff like that. Let's what else do I have here? The run game, under center running, is definitely back. I think it works a little bit too well, especially out of compacted sets with stretch, with off tackle runs, with counters, especially for whatever reason. Counters are just extremely good this year. They kind of mess up your team's run fits or gap assignments and stuff like that this year. I don't know how that happens, but okay. I'm pretty sure the development team is aware of that, but I noticed this more so out of like I-form tight twins, strong close, I close, anything with close or like deuce close as well. Anything that's compacted, outside runs, tosses, pitches, whatever you want to call them, stretches, power O's, especially like the power G that happens out of like tight pair, out of I-form. Those are just extremely powerful this year. And it's unfortunately, as a defense, you really can't do much. I mean, you could line up in a Y9 assignment. You could cover one or cover four. But sometimes I feel like it works a little too well, particularly stretches. And I think the development team is looking at that as well. So I won't beat it too much with a dead horse. I think the community knows it as well. The stretch runs are definitely OP this year. So I would like to see them get nerfed, kind of similar, hopefully, to what happens with Inside Zone this year, how it got nerfed. Hopefully the stretch runs actually get nerfed after a patch and stuff like that. Nano detection system. For me personally, I don't really send or create blitzes like that. So for me, it's not an issue. But I have noticed it, and to me it is sort of silly how the linebackers will stop in the middle of like a play and then pursue your quarterback, like maybe like 2 seconds after like thinking about it or something like that. I think it is kind of silly. But I mean, it's there for a reason. So I guess I'm a fan of it if it reduces the number of A gaps and B gaps, which realistically I have yet to see too many A gaps and B gaps used online. Like if anything is coming from the second level, it's not like the instantaneous electric slide offensive lineman A gaps, B gaps we're used to accustomed to seeing in Madden 16. So for that, I applaud the devs on the nano detection system. Ball physics. This is kind of a minus for me, and this is because I feel like ball physics are very inconsistent. And what I mean by inconsistent is that I noticed this more in rat catch and traffic scenarios, and I noticed this more so in aggressive catch animations where the ball physics are kind of iffy. Like sometimes you'll get the ball, the jar loose and stuff like that, and other times you still unfortunately get that tether that goes with the ball physics, unfortunately. And I kind of thought that ball physics was just going to be something that happens every single time the ball is either thrown in the air or the ball interacts with another defender. But unfortunately, it is not the case. It is, like I said, it's iffy. One day you'll see, now it's like, okay, ball physics, and the other one you're just like, yo, that went right through my guy's hands. So would like to see that kind of looked at even further. I think it's still a great addition to Madden. I think it's probably one of the better additions to Madden this year, but it has to be in their full force. It can't be in there like 85% and then the rest, because of animations and stuff like that, it totally gets negated. So that's just my kind of one of my minuses. Another minus that I have that is, to me, is a now legacy issue since Madden 15 and the jump the line snap or jump the snap mechanic is halfbacks or just pass protection with the offensive line. And halfbacks, mainly halfbacks and pass protection, because I feel like the halfbacks don't block or fail to target or realize the defenders coming in their area or coming towards the quarterback a lot of times. I send a couple of examples to like Rex and Clinton and stuff like that. Or what ends up happening is that the defender completely loops around both the left tackle or the right tackle and the halfback that's supposed to be blocking, even if you tell him to block left, block right, and all that stuff. The defender still loops around, which happens from time to time, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's annoying to me when the guys don't even put a body on them. Like, just simply don't even put hands on us. Like, at least try, make an effort. They just kind of, like, chop their feet and, slide their feet, and the guy just completely comes untouched. And that, to me, is very, very frustrating to see in Madden. Or the guy, I have an example, I think I made a Twitch highlight of it, where the defender is literally right in front of the halfback's face after I call out play action, and the halfback just kind of just body crumples and lets the defender sack the quarterback. Again, I feel like that logic needs to be updated. I think it's still one of the biggest weaknesses of Madden, the offensive line blocking and in-pass protection, especially when your guys have the ratings or similar ratings to match it with the defender's power move, finesse move, strength, and all that stuff, and yet the defensive line still wins. It kind of seems like to me that the offensive line, because of said jump the snap mechanic with the computer and or D-line users, unfortunately, which are completely back this year, that the offensive line is always at a disadvantage this year. Or this seems to me that they're always in terms of ratings and the mechanics itself. So I wish that could get looked at, if not this year, if not Madden 18 coming up. Another issue that I have that is a minus, dropped picks this year, namely tip picks that have no offensive players around them when the defender is literally by himself and it drops a pick. And I understand that's why they play defense. They have no hands. But at the same time, it's very frustrating, especially when passes are thrown right at them. I notice it's more of a bullet passes that tend to get the volleyball swat animation that is very frustrating still to see in Madden 17 this year, which I would have thought they would have got rid of a lot of these SWAT animations, but unfortunately that is not the case. And speaking of tip picks, I've noticed after the patch, I don't really see too many tip picks anymore. I don't know if it's the number has gone completely down or what's the case with that, but I haven't not seen a lot of tip pick animations lately. So maybe I'll play some more games and come back to it, but that's just something that has been very concerning to me ever since the patch has dropped. But also back to what I was saying about drop picks, not only by the computer, but just by your user as well. It's still an issue. Kind of wish it would get fixed. And we still have an issue. This is a slight issue, but when it comes to usering, that you still get force fielded out of the way sometimes when you're going to look user and lurk and the ball's in the air and you're holding ball hog. You still get that occasional force field push out the way, which has got to be looked at some point in time. Like I said, if you guys need examples of this, I'm willing to share videos on Twitch from my archives. What else do I have? I'm not a person. This is a minus for me, and this is more of a user thing than it is a mechanic thing. I'm not the biggest fan of tackle battles this year. I'm not. And the reason I say this, I'm looking at this on both sides of the ball here. So let me start on offense. The reason why I'm not a fan of tackle battles this year on offense is because as a ball carrier, I am so used to carrying or protecting the ball. So my running back or my ball carrier does not get popped, does not fumble, does not get stripped, which has been nerfed this year or nerfed in this patch, thankfully. But I am so used to protecting the ball so many times that I'm not used to letting somebody tackle me or give me a hold and then being able to press a button. And what happens, I wish there was a buffer in this particular case, because you're doing the right thing and protecting the ball, but I wish there was a buffer to say, hey, you're protecting the ball and then you're able to press a button. Whereas, since you're protecting the ball already, the game registers you as pressing the wrong button when it comes to tackle battle animation, and you end up losing a lot more tackle battles than you end up winning because you were protecting the ball. So I think that's something that kind of needs to get looked at. I don't know if they can, give users a buffer for that, for protecting the ball, but I just find that for me, and then the defensive side of the ball too, I notice even when they when they win a tackle battle, whether it's, 1-on-1 or, 2-on-1 or whatever the case may be, even when multiple defenders are in the area, they just stand there. They still find this, like, they kind of gawk and see what happens, and then they decide to attack. And even when they decide to attack after the tackle battle has been lost by the defense, they kind of are late to, getting to the ball carrier. So, or they miss tackles, and they miss, they don't go after the ball carrier nearly as fast as they should be. So, again, one of those features I'm not the biggest fan of, or maybe I just need more practice, or just, I don't know. I feel like that needs to get looked at some more. Let's see what I have else on my list. Auto spin move. Now, I don't know why this is still in the game, but it's very annoying still to have that auto spin move when you don't want to spin at all and you're not in control of it. I know, especially, when the run is kind of muddy and you have your settings set on manual, you still get that auto spin move, which is just very, very annoying to see in Madden 17 still. Play action. I actually like the play action zone, to be honest. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm in a minority in this one. I actually like it because I ain't gonna lie, I fall for it more times than not. Just because of that, it's just so good this year in terms of like getting you really to bite on that. For the most part, obviously if it's like a 3rd and 19, you're not going to bite on play action, but like if it's like a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and short, and yeah, I tend to bite on those. I ain't going to lie, I bite on those a lot of times just because I'm ready. Like I check my runs, like I'm ready to snap the ball or snap the ball so I can like knock the ball carrier out, and send them to like the medical team or something like that. So it's one of those things. It's kind of underrated, but I actually do like it. What else? Here's a minus for me. And this has been an issue since Madden 16 when they introduced the ways to catch the ball both on offense or play the ball in the air. And this is bullet passes. And the reason why I bring this up is because on bullet passes, you are not able to click on or have sufficient time to click on and do whatever you need to do, whether it's on offense, changing from rack to possession, or on defense, being able to change from, the defense, or at least your corners, if they had the aggressive trait, changing from play the receiver, or play the ball to a play receiver or swatting. I noticed this more so, especially like throws over the middle of the field or like corner routes or C routes sometimes, not a lot of times, or even on slants sometimes where you're just not able to click on, and even sometimes on bullet lob streaks or bullet passes down the field. For some reason, it's very, very tough to click on. You kind of get like a delay. So again, it's one of those things where I kind of wish. I don't know if you just on bullet pass, you just have to hold the button instead of being able to click on, which again, you don't get the user bonus, so it feels like you're at a disadvantage. Either way you look at it. So again, it's one of those things. Got to look at fixing or kind of adjusting, in my mind. Let's see, the instant block shed issues from the run game. It's not so much that it's like a ratings thing, but it's like what I notice a lot of times is that the defenders still reach through your guys or still run through offensive linemen as if they weren't there. Like defenders run through offensive linemen as if they really don't exist sometimes, especially when they turbo. Not like turbo as in like with like turbo blitz or anything like that, but when users click on and they hit the turbo, they sometimes still run through offensive linemen. Kind of wish that they or this, like I said, they reach through your ball carrier, especially like on the dives or power O's and stuff like that. Kind of wish that was a little bit fixed in my end. I still feel like it's not enough punishment for. No, wait, that goes back into my drop pick issue. But I still feel like it's still not enough bad decision or punishment for bad decisions in Madden. And like I said, hopefully they're looking at that as well. There is a delay. I don't know why this is, but there is a delay in snapping the ball when you're changing formations or you're audibly, especially in hurry-up situations, or just even when you just switch formations and hot route and audible to the next formation and stuff like that. I noticed there's like a 3-second delay. I don't know why that happens, and it kind of is annoying, especially when you're trying to snap the ball, trying to catch the defense off guard because they're still adjusting or whatever the case may be. It's still very, very annoying to deal with that, and I hope that that kind of delay gets removed in Madden 17. Quick snapping. I've been saying this for a while now that quick snapping is still an issue, and I think I figured out why quick snapping is such an issue. And this may or may not be a popular opinion here, but the reason why I think quick snapping is such an issue is because your ability to hot route one time outside when you come out of the huddle or whatever, you're able to hot route one time, and because of that, you're able to quick snap a lot more. And I didn't think about this until I literally recently watched a stream, and I'm like wondering why people really hate the quick snap, and I do too. I really hate it. It's very annoying. So this may sound like the unpopular opinion, but in order to reduce quick snapping, what might end up happening is that if the developers really think that's an issue, that they might take out the hot route before you are able to snap the ball. So literally your hot routes have to come at the line of scrimmage, which I think is kind of fair because a lot of times I don't notice this too much out of the NFL, except for maybe like if they change their formation or something like that, or offensive player or receiver needs to be at a certain spot. I don't really notice too many guys just literally walking up and be like, okay, hot route, drag route, curl route, streak it, and then they usually make all their adjustments at the line of scrimmage. So I feel like in order to reduce or get rid of the whole quick snapping issue, I'm doing like the whole air quotes thing if you can't tell. We might have to just simply take out the hot route before, like I said, and that may reduce like a lot of true clock situations, or it may not be the most popular thing. But again, a lot of people that I know are having issues, especially competitive players or streamers, are having a lot of issues with the whole quick snapping mechanics. Now, I know it's in the NFL, and I understand that that's cool and everything like that. You can walk up to the line and stuff like that and snap the ball, depending on how fast your offense is, like chip calories or something like that. But at the same time, at the very least, they at least make one call before they snap the ball. It's not like just walk up to the line and hut, and you just go from there, and you're able to make a play and stuff like that. So that's probably the one thing that may be the only solution to quick snapping is to get rid of that hot route before you're able to walk, or before you get to the line of scrimmage. Another issue that I have is when you, especially on defense, when you're making your adjustments, I feel like sometimes it's either a delay or your adjustments don't register in time. Don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but I noticed that, especially when you're trying to audible out to like maybe a different zone or audible into man-to-man, sometimes it just doesn't register with what you're trying to do. The same thing on hot routes. I noticed they sometimes have like a delay in registering as well, and maybe this is just more on the online head-to-head. side of things as opposed to offline. So again, something to possibly look into. And let's see. I think that it does really about it though. One more thing. Sorry. The last thing I have, and this has kind of been like an issue for, I don't know, this has been an issue for a while, and that is when the ball snaps, and say like you're trying to click on, let's say you're playing defense and we're coming out in a $326, right? And you're trying to get to, let's say you're playing the middle linebackers, but you're on the left middle linebacker, but you want to get to the right middle linebacker. When the ball snaps, you're automatically on your defensive line, and you're kind of stuck on your defensive line. So, and I know the simple solution as well, like, you could just just quick hot route the defense and stuff like that. But sometimes, you're trying to like click as the ball is snapped, and you're automatically on your defensive line instead of the guy you're trying to go to. So that's been the issue for a while now, and a lot of people get stuck on their D line that way, unfortunately. So I'm wondering if that's something to be looked at into as well. And like I said, if you're having any of these issues, please comment below. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit up on Twitch, or hit me up on Twitch as well, and let me know if you're having those particular issues as well. But other than that, that is officially it for my fixes, issues of Madden NFL 17. And I know it sounds like a lot of negative things. Trust me, and it does. But these are like the small things. These are not like the major flaws besides like, stretch or a couple other issues here and there, like halfbacks and pass protection. These are just, like I said, tunable, fixable, patchable, whatever word you want to use, issues that, can be looked at and I think can be fixed throughout the year, either via this big patch that's coming out later on, or even maybe even a third patch later on in the year, maybe like after New Year's and stuff like that. Like I said, if you're listening to this, please hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitch if you see me streaming, come through and we can talk about things. Or if you, like I say, if you want to take this more to a private forum, hit me up on email. I can give you my contact address. Most of you guys, I think a good number of you guys follow me. A couple of guys don't, unfortunately. But if you guys need that information, please, I'm more than willing to provide feedback for you guys, video proof so you see what I'm talking about, Twitch streams and stuff like that so you know what I'm talking about as well. And again, Madden 17, a very, very good game. I actually like it a lot more than 16. Just the small things still are there that people either don't notice as much or just, kind of go a long way into, not want to say ruining an online experience, but kind of break the game a little bit. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will provide answers to you. And also, too, for you guys that are brand new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter, twitch.tv/BlackPhoenix, twitter.com/TheBlackPhoenix. And like I said, let me know your thoughts on this, especially you guys that are in the competitive community, even the CFM guys. If you guys are still, let me know your thoughts. If you agree with this, let me know in the comment section or hit me up on Twitter. If you disagree, let me know, and let me know why. I'm always willing to go back and forth with you guys in a positive, in a positive manner. Don't come at me negative, please. And again, same thing for the developers. This is just, for me, this is, at least speaking wise, audio wise, this is constructive, actionable feedback that I think is worth looking at. And if you guys feel the same way, let me know. I apologize that this is so long, and normally I don't like podcasts this long, but again, this is one of a huge review type of episode. So again, it's one of those, has to be long, unfortunately. So if you guys like what you heard, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure to share a video. If you agree with any part of this video, make sure to share it, share with other guys. If other guys agree, keep sharing them on the community, and then even share it with the developers and stuff like that, have them take a look at it. And that's all I can ask for your continued support. So again, next episode, we're going to be talking about the modes, and we'll be talking about what I like and dislike, similar to this one, but a little less in length, as unfortunately. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'm out, guys. Until next episode, 5Gs, y'all. Peace.